Wizards, do you know what is a constitution? After the first democratic elections in 1994, the elected members of parliament came together in a special body called the Constitution Assembly. The Constitution Assembly worked for 2 years to write a new constitution for South Africa. A constitution contains the main laws of a country. All other laws and decisions and actions of government must agree with what the Constitution says. It also describes the rights and the freedoms that people have. Most of the rights and freedoms are contained in a part of the Constitution called the Bill of Rights. Governments may not pass any law or act in any way that goes against these rights of citizens. The Constitution describes the following. It says how government is formed and what powers it has to rule the country. It describes how Parliament is elected and makes laws. And also, it describes the system of the courts. The courts are independent and only obey the law and the Constitution itself. The opening statement of the Constitution is called the preamble. It outlines the purpose that the Constitution is trying to achieve. Now let's look at the role of Parliament. Parliament is made up of representatives of the ruling party and the opposition. In Parliament, decisions are reached and problems are solved by talking about them in public debates. Parliament is made up of groups which we call the two houses of Parliament. Both houses must agree on a law before it can become a law. For example, the National Assembly makes the laws of the land and is supposed to watch over the government to make sure that they obey the laws. And also, the National Council of Provinces makes sure that people in all the provinces are happy with the laws. The importance of rules and laws. No society can exist without rules, and most citizens agree on and all citizens respect. We need rules about how people can behave, about the owning of property, and about how parents must look after children, and how people make contracts, and many other things. In a country, the most important rules are made into laws. In a democracy, the laws are made by elected members of the parliament. Now, wizards, let's continue to look at the justice system and equality under the law. In South Africa, there is a system of courts to decide in whether citizens or the government are obeying the laws of the land. The courts also decide what should be done if anyone is found to have gone against the law. The courts are headed by judges who are specially trained in applying the law. Judges must listen to both sides of any case and make their judgments after fairly considering evidence presented by both sides. In South Africa, the Constitution says that all are equal before the law. This means that everyone, including government, must obey the law. There are two kinds of cases that come before the courts. A criminal case. If the police think that someone has broken the law, they can ask the law to punish them. The court then looks at the evidence and decides if the law has been broken. It also decides what punishment should be given if the person is found guilty. And also civil cases. If people have a disagreement and cannot resolve it, they can ask the court to decide who is right.